I'm going to give you a bit of a lesson that I learnt, really tough lesson. It almost made me quit the project, and I've decided that I've just got to learn from it. I've just got to suck it up, and really, you know, I'm an absolute amateur, and this is something I couldn't foresee as a potential problem, and I won't make the same mistake again. Hopefully anybody watching this who's embarking on a similar project, you know, if you don't know about greenhouses, and if you build a budget greenhouse like I have that isn't glass, there are things that crop up, and this is one of them. So anyway, you know, I have here behind me, you'll see the remnants of my crop, a crop that is beautiful, and fabulous plants, but around about 180 plants down after growing from seed in water and growing shantung and having a fabulous starting crop of trees, and I'm down to about 18 trees. And this video is going to show you why and how that happened. I'm a complete amateur, and I've never tried to hide that. These plants that I've got now are fabulous. They're still a product of trial and error. But the strangest thing is all, and something I want to do as a warning, we had a couple of days of rain and then some really hot weather about 3-4 weeks ago, and I came home after being away for a couple of days of hot sun and was confronted by a greenhouse full of smoke, and I couldn't work it out. And I came running in, and I had 180 seedlings, Paulownia hybrid seedlings, shantung, and they had all been doing well. Were about, on average, they were about 25 millimeters high. Most of them are grown on from water-based cultivation. So when I got in, I was confronted with 10 trays of this, believe it or not. 10 trays of this, and as you can see, coming off there is smoke, and I was absolutely devastated because almost all the plants had died. They'd all been consumed by this smouldering peat, and I was absolutely perplexed. I couldn't work out what on earth had happened. I thought someone had sabotaged them, and it took me a long time to come to terms with losing 180 trees. And the surviving ones have grown on now to be like this. So I wanted to get to the bottom of it, and I sat and I had a cup of tea in here and another cup of tea, and then I looked at the remaining 2 trays, which was starting to smoke exactly the same. All the others I'd thrown out, and they were just like this. And I had to think about it, and then it suddenly dawned on me, and I realised what had happened. So I've got a greenhouse here built on a budget. They sent me the wrong gauge polythene, but I used it anyway because I was in a hurry, and that's what's cost me most of my crop. And I'm going to show you what happened. So up here we've got a framework, and each square had a big dish of of water, rainwater, and the rainwater had pushed down every section like a bit of a reverse bubble, I suppose. And so every one of those had about 10 litres of water, maybe less, and they'd bulged down in a beautiful smooth curve, and the sun was absolutely blinding coming through. And then it dawned on me that what happened is I'd actually created about 20 giant magnifying glasses. And I kid you not, it sounds really, really bizarre, but the sun had come through those sort of convex bubbles of plastic, magnified down onto the top of the peat, and the intensity over a 2-day period had caused the peat to effectively catch fire. You can see the state of the tray, and it got so hot that all the trays were distorted. And the weird thing is, I poured water on some of them and it didn't actually stop them to start with. They were still smouldering underneath all the way down to the base of the tray. It was incredible, absolutely astonishing. And so the first thing I did is try and save the crops, but I also had other plants in here. These were all affected. Look, you've got my avocados here. They still have never recovered. I lost probably 10 avocados. So this is a greenhouse tip, and I'm sure people will say, yeah, well, that was obvious, people should know that. Well, I didn't know it. I didn't know it at all. What I did is I whitewashed all the undersides of the polythene, and I whitewashed across the top of the side windows. That's solved the problem, but it was a really, really terrible learning curve. I was devastated. I lost 180 fabulously developing Paulownia Shantung plants, and as you can see, I would have had 180 of these now.